This is your invitation to use whatever method you have, whatever medium you use. Like, I'm a weaver, so I'm going to say weave your way whole. You can weave your way to healing. You can weave your way to feeling yourself vital and alive, complete. But you could paint your way or sculpt your way or draw your way or dance your way or poem your way. You could write your way whole. And I am speaking from experience as a multi-passionate creative, as a minister, as a yogi, as a mother of 6. Hello, my little sweeties. Welcome back to the channel. It's Sam from thesamanthawild.com, and I am so happy you're here. Do not forget, thumbs up and subscribe. Mwah! I love my subscribers. You all are so darling, and you mean so much to me. Thank you for your subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the perfect moment to do it. It is always the right moment in time to talk about healing. Always, 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 always. So if the world is madness, if the world is chaos, we still have to, and we must talk about healing because our personal healing is so significant for the world. Think about that for a minute. Think about the fact that the people who haven't done any of their own personal healing work are kind of creating disasters for other people on the big scale and on the small scale. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this piece, which is one of my Nantucket Blues pieces. And it's got some Nantucket shells. Look at this one hiding in there. Why am I going to talk to you about this piece? Because I moved to Nantucket when I was 9 years old. 9 years old, a very tender age. I moved to Nantucket at 9 years old. I didn't like it. I mean, everybody now is like, oh, you're the luckiest person in the whole world. You know, my parents have lived there for a very, very long time. But at 9 years old, I did not feel like the luckiest person. I felt pretty upset. I was devastated. I loved where I lived before then, and I did not want to go to Nantucket. Now, this weaving is one of many different pieces, in a series, I should say, of many different pieces I have done on Nantucket theme. This is a beautiful one describing one of the names that's given to Nantucket. It's called the Gray Lady. I hope you can see all the gray. I don't know what the Gray Lady makes you think of, but gray is kind of a wee bit depressing. So if you don't grasp right away that the Gray Lady, as the Nantucket Island, is a wee bit depressing, then let me tell you, it is true. When I am weaving Nantucket, I am weaving my childhood and I am revising my childhood. So how we use our creativity and our art to heal is that we dig in deep and we go into all the places, but you don't even have to do it on purpose. Here's the thing about the difference between using your art and your creativity for healing and just sitting and doing therapy. I'll just sit down for a minute so that we can talk about this. If I am sitting down and doing my therapy, I'm talking on purpose about something. Let's talk about me when I was 9 years old and I didn't want to move to Nantucket. And I'm not saying that therapy doesn't work. I'm a mentor. I do mentorship with people all the time, which is a form of spiritual counseling, is part of my work, actually, as a minister. But, well, you know, not that kind of minister. Don't get any ideas. A wonderful, progressive, creative, expansive, inclusive minister. But anyway, let's go back to the power of art and creativity. So when you are doing your creativity, I've made videos about this, at least one, maybe two, maybe even three, about how it taps us into a different level, right? We get into a different brainwave. We're coming into a different level of consciousness, and that's where we get great new ideas for life. But also when we're in those places and in that flow, the work can be done for us without kind of hopping right on top of it. So like if I'm talking about being 9 years old, and if I'm crying about what happened, and if I'm sad about how I had to move there, that's definitely one way of working with the healing. But then I'm kind of like sitting right on top of it. When you are using your creativity and your art to heal, you're flowing in and out of it. You're literally weaving it because you're both here and not there, present and in the past. You are doing something very tactile. Right? So whether you're creating a weaving, which you can touch, or a painting, which you can look at, or a sculpture, which you can feel, which you can hold, creativity and art produces something. And that production is really important. And I've said this for decades to people when I've been doing healing work that just uses words. It's more powerful, more potent, and more efficient when we use something other than words. And why the heck would that be? Well, because we are tactile people. We are sensory people. We smell it, we hear it, we see it, we taste it, we touch it. We are living in this world. You can see, look around me. Hopefully you are experiencing what it's like to be in the midst of all these colors. But here's another thing. A lot of the healing work we need to, have to, and want to do is about being wee little ones, right? Being children. And what do children have less of than adults do? Words, theories, explanations, and paragraphs. And they have more feeling and energy and texture and vibe, right? So when I'm dropping down and weaving Nantucket, I'm weaving the present version adult self is sitting there at the loom weaving Nantucket, and she's weaving in the child self that didn't want to be there, that looked at the gray lady as nothing but endless loneliness and isolation. But I'm weaving them, all of those pieces together, right? And our creativity and our art heals when we become integrated, love these words, and we remember that we are whole, that we are one. And that's why, even though I'm not a product-oriented person, I want to encourage you today, if you have a creative project or an art project that you are working on, I encourage you to keep going until you finish it. Because sometimes what happens, people will come to me and they say, I'm just procrastinating, I'm not done, I have this project and it's not complete. I always encourage people to complete it, even if it isn't exactly perfect or exactly what you want it to be, because it then becomes a symbol of our integration, a symbol of our wholeness. So if I stop halfway, which sometimes I'm like, I stopped halfway, it's not quite done. I haven't finished weaving all the different threads of who I am into that particular piece. And then I'm kind of allowing myself to halt my own healing. But to see a piece when it's done allows me then to say, there's a little piece of healing work. There's a little bit of Nantucket, a little revision of the story. Art and creativity are so, so powerful. I hope that you are incorporating them into your daily life right now, because things are very hard for very many of us and very hard on the world scene. Just a brief moment to pause and share with you one of my tapestries here, which is a piece about light. And I'm sharing that with you simply because I want to share a concept of bringing light to our thoughts. I don't know if you can see the beautiful setting sun, light to our hearts, and that beautiful light of healing that we invite in every time we are willing to be creative, be your artist self. I hope you have a really wonderful creative day. Until next week, don't forget, thumbs up and subscribe. Visit me at thesamanthawild.com and come and see my weaving shop.